Okay, if I can have everyone's attention again, we will continue our driver media availability here at Michigan International Speedway. We're now joined by Jimmie Johnson, driver of the number 48 Lowe's Jimmie Johnson Foundation Chevrolet. Jimmie, coming back to Michigan after your win here in June, talk a little bit about your thoughts coming back here this weekend, being locked into the chase.
Excited to be back, for a few reasons. We've had kind of the craziest luck over the last, 6, 7 races, whatever it's been. And although we've only won here once, it's been a very strong track for the 48, and there's a lot of room on this racetrack, so I think I can be out of harm's way and get this Jimmie Johnson Foundation Chevrolet to victory lane. And the other piece to it, obviously, is having our foundation on the side of the car and the amazing relationship I've had with Lowe's over the years. And for the 9th year in a row, they've allowed us to have a paint out on the car, and that paint out's brought a lot of luck and a few checkered flags along the way. So excited to be here for a lot of reasons, and looking forward to having some fun.
Okay, we'll open up for questions. We'll start over to the right with Woody, come back to the middle with Claire, and then go to Wolfgang.
Woody Kane with MRN. And Jimmie, speaking of the foundation, earlier this year you announced you wanted to do some local fitness events in relation to that, and I think you got another one coming up Tuesday. Just tell me a little about how those have been going, and you're, I understand, doing all of them yourself too, right?
Yeah, I'll be able to do 3 of the 4. I missed the excursion that we had. We were racing somewhere. Maybe it was New Hampshire. But we've had 2 very successful events so far. And it's neat because we give back in California, Oklahoma, and Charlotte. And we haven't done any formal fundraising in the North Carolina area. So to have these 4 events, the Jimmie Johnson Wellness Challenge, it's great to have something close to home, the local media surrounding it, and to have a strong presence in our local community. And at the same time, we're inspiring people to get fit. And in the garage area, to see how many people are pedaling on Saturdays or running, people now swimming and getting involved and working on their fitness is really cool. So not only inspiring, but then certainly raising money for public education, K through 12, which is our focus. And a lot of good things are happening. Thank you.
We'll take our next question from Claire here in the middle.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Jimmie, can you explain the challenges that your team has faced this year? And certainly people say you make your own luck. And your team is set up to handle a lot of that. It seems like you're flawless in handling adversity. But can you explain any of it, especially last week and a couple of weeks ago too?
Yeah, I want to chuckle when you say make your own luck, because some feel that I've just been lucky, period, and I have a horseshoe somewhere that's just brought luck. But in most, if not all, most circumstances, you do make your own luck. Sometimes you're unlucky and somebody else's mistake catches you up, and I was a part of that last weekend on that restart at Watkins Glen. But some of the other stuff, we can probably trace it back and say it's self-inflicted. We're not trying to make excuses or asking for sympathy from anybody, but we can't ignore the results. And fortunately, we're in the chase era, and we're sitting in a great position for a seeding process, and hopefully can get another win or 2 and come in as the top seed. So we're racing the points as they exist and how they are today. It's nice to have momentum entering the chase. If it doesn't happen, we've won championships that way too. So we're taking it as it comes, but it has been a very challenging year. We started off without the speed that we wanted. We got the speed back, and then the luck left. So we choose to look at it. We're getting all of this out of the way so we can have 10 great races, and hopefully it happens that way.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Wolfgang, then go to Bob and Jay and Dean.
Wolfgang Monser from Germany, Rennsport Press Agency. Jimmie, during the season you run twice on a couple of NASCAR racetrack speedways, Michigan included. It was mentioned earlier you won here in June. Is this an advantage, maybe setup-wise, you know exactly what to do, or you're just starting now with a totally new car, a new setup, and new preparation like you had in June?
Things are really changing, and the best example I can give to that and the amount of change that takes place in our sport is the spring Pocono race. We felt like we had a race-winning car. We were even had contact on pit road and came back and had a shot to win the race. We came and unloaded at Pocono a month or so later, whatever that time span is, with the same setup, and we're about 6 or 7 tenths off the pace, and had to rebuild the car, a whole new setup under it, and a new mindset to get the pace back. We have more time in between the spring and the fall race here, so I would say that change is necessary to keep up, and I know that we've made changes coming back to make our car faster. So things do change. You do show up with confidence. The week leading into the race, is comfortable and nice, and you have all these positive thoughts because you won. But as soon as the timing and scoring goes hot, you kind of in that moment in the reality of what the leaderboard says then.
Okay, we'll now go to Bob. Go ahead with your question.
Bob Hocker, Sporting News. And no matter how you viewed the tragedy last Saturday, driver emotion came into play.
Yep.
Have you ever had a time where you've gotten so emotional in a car that you've done something that you look back and say, man, that was unsafe? And is there any way for drivers to control, I guess, their emotions more or need to?
Yeah, I guess the one experience that comes to mind for me in Cup was maybe my rookie year at Bristol. Robbie Gordon wrecked me on a restart, and I got out and shot him the bird. So I guess that's my one time of letting emotion get to me and stayed on the racetrack to show him, the one-fingered salute. I know it's a hot topic, and I think that NASCAR has made the right move in kind of redefining or better explaining and even making consequences for letting emotions get the best of you as a race car driver. Will that stop a driver that's really upset? I don't know. It's hard to say. But I can say in NASCAR, one advantage we have versus a lot of short tracks around the country, and this is something that I hope changes. I hope the change that NASCAR made will work its way into short tracks for sure. But another thing that I think short tracks need to look at, dirt or asphalt, and asphalt I think are probably covered under this circumstance, but dirt tracks, a lot of those dirt drivers, they don't have spotters. They don't have radios in the car. And in a NASCAR event, especially if you're a part of the crash and that guy's mad at you, your spotter's telling you where he is. And as you come upon the scene that, guy's out of his car. So you know those things. So I would just say that hopefully short tracks pick up this philosophy and enforce it. But I don't know if it will change a driver's mind as they get out of the race car. But it would be nice for the rest of the field to know what has happened and that there's a hot-tempered driver on foot. And again, it doesn't take anything away from the tragedy. I mean, it's just a terrible, terrible tragedy. But as we look forward and how we can make change, spotters in dirt cars, which may not be an option, and it's tough to do with how many cars they run through a show and on, but some series do have radios in the cars where race control speaks to the field. And if race control was engaged and said, look, you got a crash in turn 1, there's a driver on foot, the entire field would know what's going on. So that's just one little thing that I'd like to add and some more change that I'd like to see personally.
Okay, we're going to try to get to all of the questions. I'm not sure we're going to be able to. We'll do what we can in the allotted time frame. We'll go to Dean, then Jay, then Nate.
Dean McNulty, Toronto Sun. I know I've asked you this previous years about a road course in the Chase, and maybe that road course could be Ron Fellows' track up in Canada. And you said, well, road courses don't always give us good ratings, but the course last week at Watkins Glen was the highest rated race of the season so far. Has your opinion of making a road course in the Chase changed at all?
My comment isn't based on my opinion of road course racing. I'm a fan of road course racing, and it wouldn't bother me to have one in the Chase. But I think the reason there hasn't been a road course in the Chase has been due to ratings and attendance. Not sure what all the factors led into making the Watkins Glen race such a high ratings. Obviously there was a lot of discussion leading into the race, the tragedy that took place. And I'm shocked to hear that because we had at least one red flag, I guess, in long cautions, 2 red flags, I guess, right? Something like that. So I'm shocked to hear that, to be honest with you. But if a road course was in the Chase, yeah, I'd love road course racing. It wouldn't bother me.
Okay, Jay.
Jay Pennell with Fox Sports. You talk about the bad luck that you've had over the last couple of weeks. You went through a similar situation with that last year heading into the Chase. What did you guys learn as a team that you needed to do to rebound from that and have such a strong Chase that you can use this year?
Honestly, the postseason really is the postseason, and we've entered with momentum and without. And either way, you've got to leave what happened in the first 26 shut that door, and that was then, and look at the present. And in the past, you had a 10-race program to kind of look at, and now you almost have 4 categories to look at. So the game has changed for sure, but I think where I sit today and how I view the chase and when it starts is the same, even though the format's changed some. And those 10 tracks in the chase are still really probably 9 or 10 of my best tracks on the circuit. And if we have a slow run entering, we'll just deal with it and rely on the team that we've built and who we are as individuals in each position, and step up as need be.
Okay, we'll go Nate and Marty, and that's probably all we have time for real quick.
Nate Ryan, USA Today Sports. Jimmie, have you had a chance to talk to Tony yet? And if you could you characterize like what the mood is, yourself and your peers out there in the garage, knowing, and this is the second straight season where it looks like he's facing an uncertain future, and he's a big part of the sport, personality-wise. And as a friend to you, I know, what does all of it mean?
Yeah, I haven't been able to get in contact with him. I've certainly tried, not heard back. I would imagine still a lot going on, and I would assume is being advised to keep comments to a minimum right now with all the legal things that are out there pending. So unfortunately, I haven't spoken to him. Just feel for him, for Gene Haas, the team, the uncertainty that lies there, certainly from a Tony standpoint. And then, the Ward family. I mean, as much as I'm concerned for Tony and his well-being, the pain and sorrow that the Ward family and friends are going through. It's such a sad set of circumstances, and certainly a hot button for different sides and different reasons and different opinions. And I think once Tony is able to talk or does talk, I think a lot of us will, many people out there will feel better hearing his side of the situation, because I know what I believe happened. I think it was completely an accident. In time we'll see when Tony's able to talk and where things go from there.
Okay, final question. Matt, go ahead.
Matt Flaubin, New York Times. Jimmie, when fans see you give the one-finger salute or some display like that, is there some entertainment value there? And do we lose that maybe with today's rule change?
I'm sure I picked up a few fans and lost a few fans. Now as a parent, if my child's hero was out there shooting the bird to another baseball player, football player, whatever it was, I'd probably, try to steer my kids away from that. So it depends, and I don't think that entertainment value should come with any safety implications. Safety is the number one priority for drivers, crew members, and the officials that are out there on the racetrack. And if it turns a few fans off, then in my opinion, they're a fan for the wrong reason.
Jimmie, thank you very much for your time this morning. Good luck this weekend.